Let's move on to our third question for the evening. So, are the funds secure, insured? Lee, I think you understand this question better than I do. Okay, so I understand you cannot say anything about profits, but based on the past auto trade, do you have monthly profits? Any proof? Thanks, Jay. So I think you understand this question better than I do, Lee. Take it away.
I'm going to do my best interpretation, and thanks, Jay, for the question. I'm going to take the first part as, are the funds secure, or are they insured by something? So if you're familiar with banking at all, or you've heard a commercial for a bank before, you've probably heard the word FDIC before. And oftentimes it's the fine print, it's the things at the end of the ad where they're speaking a million miles an hour. You can barely understand what they're saying, but they're basically covering themselves so they don't get in trouble, that sort of thing. So FDIC insurance is for banks. So, and I'm not going to speak international here. I would assume that things are pretty similar abroad. But I know in the US, to become a bank, I would imagine for every single one, but I'll leave it at that. For every single one, I'm almost positive you have to have FDIC insurance. That basically covers the deposits and things in your account if something were to happen to that bank. So say I have a local credit union here in Northern California. If something happens to it, they're FDIC insured, so I wouldn't lose all my money. The question, how I'm taking it is there anything along those same lines for my brokerage account on your platform? And the answer is yes. It's just a different acronym. It's called SIPC insurance. So basically it's FDIC insurance, but for brokerage houses. And to become a broker dealer in the US, everyone has the same rules, regulations, insurances, and all that to even become approved. So the short answer is yes, after all that explanation. The second part of this, you're absolutely correct. We can't, guarantee any profits or anything like that. But this is, and maybe I'm taking this a little bit out of context, but it talks about monthly profits. And I just want to touch on this. I guess I'm probably not going to share my screen and show any proof or anything like that. I think most of us know that you can log into your account or set up an account and see all the returns, past performance and all that on any smartfolio that you want. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the monthly profits. We, at least, and Aaron, you might agree, you might disagree with me, so feel free to inject your opinion here after. But I think even monthly, that while that's somewhat of a long enough time horizon, I still think it's too short. And I'm going to exaggerate here, but if I said, hey, do you have daily profits? Some days we might make 5%, but you can't say that 5% times 200 and however many trading days there are in the year, that you can multiply that by 5 and get your yearly return. We obviously know that's not necessarily the case. And again, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I just think that monthly is a little bit too small of a window, if you will, to be comparing yourself to someone else, or even to evaluate how a product is. We like to look at things yearly. Like this year, the market's down somewhere between right around 20%. By the time you watch this as a recording later down the road, it might be worse than that, might be better than that. But our intention is to really be a better place to put your money in a more efficient and effective way, and really manage the risk properly so that you're able to outperform the market while exposing yourself to less risk. So we could kind of talk about that on monthly basis, but I like to think of it as a yearly thing.
Yeah, I mean, Lee, I mostly agree with you, and I might disagree with you a slight bit, but it's really more of a clarification than a disagreement. So, when we get questions like this all the time, and thank you, Jay, this is not to in any way discourage people asking us questions like this. Please ask us literally anything that you want that's relevant to investing and trading on this show. There's no such thing as a dumb question, and even if it is a dumb question, we will happily take it and talk about it seriously. So this is something that it's ultimately what it comes down to is it's a little bit of a misconception here, because most people, they're going to look at a investing app, or they're going to look at any kind of investment and think, okay, I want to see regular cash flow. Like, a lot of people understand real estate as let's say you have a rental property, you're a landlord, and you have tenants paying you X number of dollars that's above your expenses, and that's your monthly cash flow. right? So we're trained, we're conditioned in the real world to think like when you go to work, you get a either bi-monthly or bi-weekly, whatever, paycheck, right? And you expect regular incremental income or cash flow at a regular set scheduled time. In this trading world, that is completely not the case at all, like ever. On a small level and on the biggest level, it's you're not gonna make consistent. That's not how you measure consistency. When people say I want to be a consistent trader, it's not in like, oh, I make X number of dollars per day. But that is how most retail traders enter this arena, thinking that that's what they're expecting. It's a misguided set of expectations. So, do we have monthly profits? Well, I mean, in a year like 2022, our profits technically are negative, right? We're still like our S&P, even trading the S&P, we're still at like -4% or -5% like that. Now, that we're proud of that, even though technically that's a loss, because the market lost how much, Lee? Like with the recent rally, might be a little bit less, but it was down as much as like 25, 27.
It's right around 20 or so, depending on last I saw yesterday. And I know things went down a little bit today, but right around 20% for easy numbers.
Right. So in this world, right, I talk about, the color of money back in the crypto class that we did in January, right? When we talk about red money, where you're putting money into the market to make money, you're making money, right? That's what this world is, right? And when you're dealing with red money like that, the measurement of success is very different. When you're dealing with blue money, which is traditional business, and hours worked per week, dollars made per hour, right? When you're dealing in that world, you can say monthly profits. When you're dealing in the red money world, monthly profits it doesn't mean anything. That's not how we measure success. It's about how at iFlip, our goal is to be ahead of the market. Pure and simple. We're a long-term solution. So we're not even looking for monthly profits. That's not even an objective of ours. We're a long-term wealth building solution. So I'll finish with this. If you're looking for monthly profits in this world, in the red money world, you're probably looking for short-term income options. And again, we had a bunch of those available for anybody who joined us in Dallas. All right, we had that Lee. You remember the my friend, the Brandon options guy?
Yep.
Right. Day trading options. Right. Most people don't even know that it's possible to be day trading options. And he does it with less than the $25,000 requirement that most people think is the minimum amount of money you need to day trade options. He's doing it with like as little as $500 or $1,000, right? How does he do that? Well, that's part of his trade secret, right? So programs like Brandon's is really good for securing, because you're doing something every day. Then you have there's around like 20 something trading days in a month. Now that's a sample size where now it's a big enough sample size of trades taken to be like, okay, over 20, every 20 trades, if I'm good, I should be profitable. So in that sense, you can ask for monthly profits. That question is valid. But that's because you're asking about a short-term income solution. iFlip is not a short-term income solution. iFlip is where you take the profits from your short-term income solution, your day trading or your swing trade or whatever, and you park it and you go for compound growth. Okay, because trading is money you take out of the market, you put it in your pocket, and you spend it. You pay bills, you go have fancy dinners, you go, watch a movie, whatever. You spend it, right, to live. iFlip is where you come to invest. where you take your money and you double it faster than the market would double it for you. Then you double it again faster than the market would double it for you. And then you grow, you compound your wealth over time. It's very different. Now, I hope I didn't beat that to death too much, but it's an important distinction, and we spend a lot of time talking about it in Dallas at the event. All of the instructors talked about it at length. We had panels about it, so this is a very important concept. And thank you very much for the question, Jay.